Myself, Dr. Smita More, Associate Professor, Department of Pharmaceutics from PES Modern College of Pharmacy, Moshi, India. And I'm going to present here the topic on taste masking of pediatric formulations using hot melt extrusion. Let us see the different challenges observed in the pediatric dosage form. Firstly, the bitter taste, non-acceptance of dosage form, age-related factor, requirement of administration devices, and use of limited excipients, evaluation of palatability and taste assessment. So as you can see over here, the pictorial representation of the emoji just I have pasted over here. Similar behavior which is shown by the children whenever they administer the bitter drug. The same feeling is observed over here that they do not like the taste. And when you try to add the modifiers into it, the taste modification will obviously lead to changes in the behavior of the child, and you will observe the smile or there will be compliance observed. Now let us see the different requirements of the dosage form. Different benefits which can be seen like efficacy, patient safety and patient access. Related to that, there are certain criteria for drug product. So if we consider the efficacy, generally dosage, preparation or administration and compliance are the criteria for drug product. And for those, few of the product requirements include dose flexibility, maybe the easy and convenience in handling, then easy in administration. Similarly, if we see the benefit like patient safety, then the criteria for drug product includes bioavailability, excipients, stability, and medication error. Considering all these, the product requirements include tolerability, minimum number of excipients, as well as stability and shelf life. If we consider the patient access, manufacturability and affordability are the two important criteria of for the drug products. And the product requirement for such type include robustness, then acceptable cost, easy transportation, and commercial viability. So what is the selection criteria for the polymer? Now, generally Udrajit EPO was selected as the taste masking polymer because this is the only polymer which is having a reverse enteric property. Now, what this reverse enteric property means that it is pH dependent solubility, and that is indicating that it is soluble below pH 5 and insoluble above pH 5. So what are the different selection criteria for the dosage form? Orodispersible tablet is generally selected for the pediatrics as it can be swallowed. So directly the tablet can be swallowed as such, or it can be sucked, or this dosage form can be dispersed in a cup of water so that the child can administer it, as well as it can be dispersed in small quantity, less than 5 ml of water, and then it can be given to the child depending upon the conditions. These are the few literature survey. Now, all of these literature surveys, mostly all of them shows that uh, generally the temperature observed over here is above 100 degrees Celsius, which is carried out for the Udrajit EPO to mask the bitter taste of the drug. The need of work is to develop palatable and flexible solid oral dosage form for pediatric patients of entire age group, and it does not require manipulation while administration, and also it must be pleasant and easy to administer. So what are the objectives? The main objective is to mask the bitter taste of the drug by using this particular polymer, that is Udrajit EPO, at low temperature hot melt extrusion. So considering all the above points, I would like to discuss one case study using one drug. So this is the plan of work. Now, a drug which I have selected is tenofovir disproxil fumarate, which is having the bitter taste and melting point is 115 to 118 degrees Celsius with pediatric dose of 40 mg. Now, optimization of drug polymer ratio is the crude method for preparation or optimization of the polymer for entrapping the drug in the amorphous form. And for that, we are taking drug and polymer, mixing it with ethanol, and it is prepared in different ratios from 1:1 to 1:3. And then the liquid samples are poured in the petri dish, and solvent is evaporated from the samples. So their appearance initially and after 24 hours was observed. Now, this is giving the conclusion that 1:1 to 1:3 drug is to polymer ratio. These are generally sufficient to dissolve the drug. This is the manufacturing formula, which I have given in percentage, where we are going to prepare the HME granules first and then prepare the extra granular ingredients, where Udrogit EPO and Soluplus are used as the polymers, and polyethylene glycol and polysorbate is used as the plasticizers. Now, this is the HME machine, actual HME machine extruder, hot melt extruder, which was from the Thermo Scientific company. Now, for considering the hot melt extruder, first we should know actually what is hot melt extrusion. So this is defined, hot melt extrusion is defined as the process which is carried out at constant temperature as well as at particular pressure, which will allow the material to be forced out through the die cavity, and the material is going to come out in form of strands. So there are certain advantage, like this is the continuous process, and it is a solvent free method, but only limitation is that there is a limited number of excipients which are available for this hot melt extrusion process. And generally it is the application includes that it can be used for taste masking of the various drugs, and also this particular process can be used for improving the bioavailability and absorption. Now let us see the working of this hot melt extruder, where you can see the torque, which is generally maintained below 60%. And in this case, I have maintained the RPM of 150 RPM. And it consists of different zones from zone 2 to zone 8, where initially the temperature is less, and when you add the dry mix containing the drug polymer plasticizer into and the lubricant, you are going to add it into this hopper, through which the material is going to pass into this cavity, and there are screw elements which are present which are helping to push the material in the forward direction. Now, initial temperature will cause a slight amount of melting of the drug and polymer mixture, and also the screw elements are trying to push the material in the forward direction. Now, also there is optimization of temperature which is done. So it was observed that at 70 degrees Celsius, there was certain noise which is observed for all the particular ratios or the different HME concentrations which were prepared. And that is why we have optimized the temperature of 80 degrees Celsius, and whole of the HME process was carried out at this particular temperature of 80 at 150 RPM. And generally the glass transition temperature of the two polymers was observed to be 48 for Udrogit EPO, and for Soluplus it is 68 degrees Celsius. So near about that temperature, the melting of the molten mass will be formed at this area near about at 80 degrees Celsius, and the screw elements are trying to push the material in the forward direction, which will come out in form of a strand. Now, whatever obtained strands are there, those are stored at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, and those are milled to get the granules. And these granules are sifted through the sieve. so that we get a particular size range. And then these granules are mixed with 0.1% talc. Generally, we have used Urogit EPO in combination with Soluplus. This is going to give the brittle extrudes. These are the evaluation parameters which were carried out, that is a pre-formulation studies, and showed good flow properties. Solubility which was carried out in 0.1 normal HCl, and all of these solubility results showed that there is solubility enhancement as compared to that of the pure drug. Now for 1:2 ratio, the DSC studies were carried out, which showed that the percentage crystallinity was calculated, and it was observed that the HME formulation showed 45 to 48% quantity of the TDF in the crystalline form, as you can observe over here. And polymers show their amorphous nature. And that is why in this case, the HME processing will be a challenge. So we moved for 1:2 ratio, where again the percentage crystallinity was calculated, and all the formulations showed nearly 68 to 85% conversion of the TDF into amorphous form. Now, 15% plasticizers containing formulations shows the TDF in more amorphous form. While if we move for the next concentration, what happens is all the percentage crystallinity results are showing 82 to 95% conversion of TDF in amorphous form in 15%. But what is happening is the final weight for this is going to increase. Dosage form is going to increase. Even if we go for the XRD studies of 1:2 ratio, all of the formulation shows the TDF in amorphous form. FTIR studies for the same 1:2 ratio is going to show no change in the chemical groups of the TDF after the HME processing. Now the tablet evaluation was done. So whatever granules were obtained, those were mixed with the extragranular ingredients, and then it was subjected to direct compression, where the tablet size was maintained to 8 mm round punch. Generally, because the easiest tablet size which the children can swallow is near about 7 to 8 mm, and so that will be a preferable size. And these HMA granules were mixed with extragranular excipients for 5 minutes, and then they were subjected to the tablet compression, where further evaluation showed that all the satisfactory results were obtained within the limit. Now, dissolution studies were carried out for 1:2 ratio in 0.1 normal HCl. So here you can observe that that after 15 minutes there is no impact on the drug release. That is, there is no impact on different concentrations of the plasticizer on the dissolution. Nearly it is remaining the same. Similarly, if you carry out the studies at 6.8 phosphate buffer, now why 6.8 phosphate buffer is used? Because the pH of the saliva is near about 6.75 to 7, and the drug release in the pH 6.8 phosphate buffer, generally it is preferred as the analytical tool for estimation of the bitter taste in the oral cavity. And what results were found that for 1:2, 5%, 10%, and 15%, you observe that the test formulation showed less than 10% drug release. So here you can see that there is less than 10% drug release at 15-minute time point. And also these results are confirming successful taste masking of the TDF. That is why 1:2 15% formulation is optimized and is selected for further studies. Now, taste evaluation of the healthy human volunteers for 1:2 15%. Now, taste evaluation is done by the swirl and spit test. And informed consent was taken from all the human volunteers, healthy human volunteers. And the feedback was also taken from them. And from the feedback, the taste was given as moderate bitter, slight bitter, and slightly sweet for the formulations like S1, S2, and S3, where S1 is indicating the pure drug. So for pure drug, their reaction was like moderately bitter taste. For S2, it is slightly bitter, which is the HME granules prepared, and S3 are the tablet which is prepared, and which is slightly sweet in taste, and taste is completely masked. Similarly, the pharmacokinetic studies were carried out for 1:2 ratio, 15%, and we have seen that the reported oral absorption of the TDF is 25%. And here we can see that the HME formulations show marginal increase of 13% bioavailability as compared to that of the pure TDF. And also TDF is the substrate of PGP activity, and so we are adding the polysorbate. That is why what happens is that the polysorbate is going to act as the PGP inhibitor and trying to increase the bioavailability of this drug. Then we subjected the formulations to stability studies at for a period of 6 months at different temperature conditions, and nearly all the results were showing to be satisfactory, except in case of the disintegration studies. We can see that here at 40 plus minus 2 degrees Celsius, 75% RH, and at 30 degrees Celsius, 65% RH, the disintegration time was found to be more than 3 minutes, which is more than the ideal disintegration time for these tablets. And only the disintegration time was observed at 25 degrees Celsius to be 2.3. So from this, we can conclude that the tablets, the ideal temperature should be 25 degrees Celsius. Right, the storage temperature of whatever finished product that we are going to prepare, it should be maintained not more than 25 degrees Celsius. Otherwise, there will be degradation, or the stability will be affected. So in summary, we can say that the taste masking of the TDF is successfully done at 1:2 ratio with 15% plasticizer, and all the other parameters like solubility, disintegration, dissolution, the PK parameter, these were satisfactory, and these were not impacted by the HMA. Even the final weight of the tablet is 355 mg, which is equivalent to 40 mg of TDF, and weight of the commercially available taste mask granules, that is the virid, it is 1 gram, which is equivalent to 40 mg TDF. So this will be the best application for the future study. Thank you. And I'm very much thankful for the organizing committee for giving me this opportunity